Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the Seahawks this offseason, you know there's a buzz in the air. It's not just about the new draft picks or the adjustments in the roster. No, it's about something that could really shake up their defensive front, especially their pass rush. The Seahawks, as you all know, have been making moves to bolster their defense, and recent developments point to a very interesting strategy, adding veteran pass rushers who can bring experience, leadership, and a proven skill set to the team. This isn't just speculation. It's a calculated effort to get the defense back to being a feared unit in the league, especially in the pass rush department, which has been a bit of a concern lately. So let's set the scene. The Seahawks kicked off this offseason by signing DeMarcus Lawrence to a 3-year deal. Lawrence, as many of you know, is a proven veteran with a lot of playoff experience and a knack for getting to the quarterback. His signing was a statement. Seattle isn't just looking to develop young talent anymore. They're bringing in guys who can make an immediate impact, especially up front. But as we look at the current roster, things get a little intriguing. Uchenna Nwasu, the team's promising outside linebacker, is still on the physically unable to perform list, meaning he's not quite ready to get back on the field. And with several other starters on the bench or dealing with injuries, the Seahawks' depth at pass rusher is a bit thin, especially in the preseason, where they only managed to record 1 sack against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, this is just preseason. But these early games are critical for assessing where the team stands, especially on defense. They've shown flashes, but the lack of pressure on the quarterback is something that needs addressing, and that's where these potential signings come into play. The Seahawks are reportedly eyeing 3 veteran free agent edge rushers who could fit perfectly into their plans, bring valuable experience, and help turn this defense into a real force. Let's talk about those players. First up, Jadeveon Clowney. This name has been a familiar one in Seahawks circles for a few years now. Clowney played for Seattle in 2019, and his return could be a game changer. Throughout his career, he's been a disruptive force on the edge. In 2021 and again in 2023, he logged over 9 sacks, showing he still has plenty left in the tank. And right now, Clowney is in the process of signing contracts after the training camp frenzy has settled, which means he's evaluating his options. Coming back to Seattle, a place where he had success, could be an ideal fit. Clowney's ability to collapse the pocket and his relentless energy make him a perfect rotational piece, or even a starter if he's in the right shape. And let's not forget, his familiarity with the Seahawks, defensive schemes, and his chemistry with some of the players could expedite his integration into the team. Moving on, another intriguing name is Zadarius Smith. Last year, Smith split his time between the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions, but despite the midseason team changes, he managed to rack up a total of 9 sacks. That's impressive considering the upheaval and the fact that he's been a consistent threat as a pass rusher throughout his career. Smith is now 32 years old, but don't let that fool you. He still possesses the energy, quickness, and technique needed to be a difference maker. The Seahawks could really benefit from his experience, especially in rotational roles, helping to spell their starters and keep the pressure on opposing quarterbacks late into games. His ability to produce sacks and his relentless motor could be exactly what Seattle needs to restore some fear factor to their pass rush. And then there's Preston Smith. He's been around for a while, and last season, after being traded from the Green Bay Packers to the Pittsburgh Steelers, he recorded 5 sacks. While that might seem modest compared to his previous seasons, from 2021 to 2023, Preston has been fairly consistent, recording between 8 and 9 sacks per year. That kind of consistency is exactly what the Seahawks are looking for, someone who can step in, contribute immediately, and bring stability to the line. His experience with multiple teams and his ability to adapt quickly could make him a very valuable addition, especially as the team continues to integrate younger players and develop their overall pass rush strategy. Now, It's worth highlighting that these options aren't just about filling a roster spot, they're about strategic additions. The Seahawks have been building a defensive core that emphasizes speed, versatility, and relentless pursuit of the quarterback. Adding a veteran like Clowney, Smith, or Preston Smith could provide that veteran leadership in the locker room, a sense of stability, and the kind of production that can turn a good defense into a dominant one. Remember, last season, the Seahawks defense showed flashes of brilliance but lacked consistent pressure on opposing QBs. They finished with a middling number of sacks, and that's something they're eager to improve. Looking at the bigger picture, the Seahawks have a lot of young talent on defense. Players like Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen have already shown they can be game changers. But defense, especially pass rushing, is about more than just raw talent. It's about experience, chemistry, and the ability to make plays when it counts. Veteran pass rushers bring that intangibility, that leadership that can elevate the entire defensive unit. And with the NFC West being as competitive as it is, Arizona, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, they can't afford to have their pass rush lag behind. The 49ers, for example, have a formidable line, and the Rams always have some surprises up their sleeve. The Seahawks need to match or surpass that level of intensity. Of course, it's not just about adding these players. They have to fit into the team's scheme and culture. Seattle's defensive coordinator has been emphasizing aggressive, versatile front seven play, and these veterans fit that mold perfectly. Clowney's power and explosiveness, Za'Darius Smith's relentless pursuit, Preston Smith's consistency, each of them could be a key piece in the puzzle. And remember, the Seahawks are in a bit of a window now. They've been competitive in recent seasons, and with Geno Smith at quarterback, they have an offense capable of scoring with anyone. To truly take the next step, they need that defense to complement their offensive firepower perfectly. Looking ahead, the Seahawks coaching staff is likely weighing these options carefully. They've seen what these players can bring, and with training camp now winding down, the decision to sign one or more of these veterans could come soon. The goal is clear: strengthen the pass rush, create more turnovers, and ultimately, give their secondary that extra second or two to make plays. It's a strategic move that could define their season, especially in close games where the pass rush can be the difference between a win or a loss. And let's not forget the fan excitement around this. Seahawks fans love a good comeback story, and the idea of bringing in seasoned veterans to bolster a young and hungry team is nothing short of exhilarating. This team has the talent, the coaching, and the drive to contend, and these potential signings are just the icing on the cake. It's about building a complete team that can challenge every opponent and push toward another deep playoff run. With the NFC West as fierce as ever, every addition counts, and the Seahawks are clearly looking to make a statement. So, as we keep an eye on how this story develops, it's safe to say that the Seahawks are serious about reasserting themselves as a dominant force on defense. Whether it's Clowney, Za'Darius Smith, or Preston Smith, each could bring a different dimension to the team, but all of them share a common goal: getting to the quarterback more often, disrupting offensive rhythm, and helping Seattle take that next step towards Super Bowl contention. It's an exciting time for Seahawks fans, and I can't wait to see how this unfolds in the coming weeks. Remember, folks, the NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and the Seahawks are no strangers to making bold moves when it matters most. The addition of a veteran pass rusher or even multiple players could be exactly what this team needs to put everything together. They've got the talent, the coaching staff, and the hunger. Now it's about executing these plans and heading into the season with confidence, knowing they've done everything possible to improve their chances. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on these potential signings? Do you think bringing back Clowney or adding Za'Darius Smith is the move that could send Seattle over the top? Or do you believe they should focus on developing their young talent and hold off on veteran signings? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. This team has a bright future, and your voice is part of that journey. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news, analysis, and everything you need to know as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting season. Thanks for sticking with us, and as always, go Hawks!